Rightio, before we get into the episode, just want to say a huge thank you to the sponsors of this episode, our good friends over at NordVPN. Now, if you haven't checked out NordVPN yet, this is your opportunity to do so, and we have a special discount for you. It helps the podcast as well, so please give it a click and follow it through, because that would be great.
It's a massive help. Yeah. Now, we've been discussing this on the podcast in these short sections beforehand for a few weeks now. And every time this comes up, we think to ourselves, I'm sure hundreds and thousands of people will go for this. I'm hoping that this is the week that we break into the 4-digit new subscribers to NordVPN.
Okay.
Because I think that's possible. So NordVPN is excellent for when we're abroad. Something that we do all the time when we're traveling is we want to be able to watch our sports and our shows when we're away, most of the time in America, without all of the very annoying adverts. So you tell NordVPN that you're in the UK when you're not in the UK, and you get to access things like iPlayer and Sky Sports.
Or if you do live in another country, your equivalent of sports broadcasting.
The same kind of thing. It's safe. It's very cheap. It's really, really easy to use. I think actually the best way that I've been using it is on my phone, because you just add the little app, you click go, you tell it what country you want to be in, and you can get cheap flights. You can buy stuff that you wouldn't be able to access in your current country now that you've told it you're in a new country. It's basically the best, and you should definitely get it. And to get the best discount on your NordVPN plan, you can go to nordvpn.com/roughcut. The link in the description will give you 4 extra months when you buy a 2-year plan. So you buy 2 years and we go, here you go, have 4 free months, which is I think a great deal. And there's absolutely no risk because there's a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So if you are listening to this, that's nordvpn.com/roughcut, or if you are watching this on YouTube, it is in the description below as well. So a huge thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring the podcast. And let's get into the episode.
Sometimes golf is a pain in the butt. You hit your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us. Because now you're listening to the Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast, where you join us in the aftermath of another men's major championship. We are already halfway through the major season after the PGA Championship took place at... where was it? Quail Hollow. God, I couldn't remember. We got Mick, we got myself, we got Kieran, and joining us, special guest, we have David. And whenever Taylor Pendrith finishes well in an event, David comes on to spread the joyous news, to spread the word of Pendrith, the Pendrith Church.
He appears like out of the mist.
Yeah, more gold on the Wikipedia page. Actually, I've just realised as well that, I guess Jacob's not here to claim the Scheffler win. So I guess if I'm sitting in his chair, I get it by proxy.
If you want to. We will. Have we counted up the major points?
It's not good.
I mean, I've got to be honest, I think I still might have done the best.
I think you probably have.
Honestly.
And I had a miscut.
Honestly, I had 4 miscuts.
Yeah, so
I had 2.
So every member of your team missed a cut.
Correct.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Four of
That's
the best
bad,
players on the planet missed the cut.
Well, there you go. We will get into that in a moment. So
we're going to talk about Scotty's win shortly. We're also going to talk about how the pros clubs are deteriorating at a rate that we just cannot fathom. And we're going to talk about whether the PGA Championship is actually just a bit rubbish.
Let's just jump into the PGA Championship. So first of all, Scotty Scheffler, number 1 player in the world, has cemented his place even further. He is guilty of that crime. And it has to be said that it got a little bit more interesting during the final round, where Rahm kind of caught Scheffler a little bit. Scheffler came back to the pack, but when Rahm didn't birdie 14-15, it just had that sense of inevitability about it. And then Scheffler kind of went on to win by a hatful. And I actually really like Scotty, but for me, this PGA Champs, it just wasn't that compelling. Certainly the first 3 days, until the last 5 holes of the third round, I really could have missed this tournament. It really wasn't doing anything for me. I think some of that has to do with the course, which we'll get into in a moment. But listen, PGA Champs, shot 71 on the final day, won 3.42 million, which isn't bad. Tied second, we had Harris English, Bryson DeChambeau, and Davis Riley. And it's the second year in a row for Bryson, which is...
Yeah, so he was very close at the Masters this year. He finished second in this tournament to Xander in 2024. He's finished second in this tournament to Scotty. And he's just so close to getting it done.
I mean, no.
No?
Not in this event.
Not this one,
Not
no.
in this event. Like that T2 for Bryson DeChambeau with Harris English, none of those players were realistically were going to win. The only person who was challenging was Rahm. And, I mean, we've got a bit of a quote here from Jim Nantz. He served as roadkill for the Green Mile. I think that's overstating the point quite a little bit. He just pushed and went for it and then just at the end kind of finished with 2 doubles. But it didn't matter. The thing is with Rahm, one thing I actually do like about Rahm is he went for it and he wasn't playing for second place. But he needed to birdie the 2 birdieable holes on the back 9. And when he didn't do that, it was kind of clear what was going to happen. Then he went for it on 17, went in the water, and that was that.
Yeah, it was like 3 over for the last 4 holes on the final day. You're not going to win if you do that.
No, it's 4 over for the last 4.
4 over for the last 4.
Double.
Good Lord.
Which is always nice. But yeah, that's the thing. So he did have that collapse, but those T2s were never going to win. This was Scottish Championship. It was just always going to happen.
Although Jonathan Vegas gave it a good go.
No, not really.
I'm trying to fight the corner of the people who...
He had a good first day and second, didn't he? Like
He had a good first day, but everyone pointed this out. Like after that first day, everyone looked at the leaderboard and was like, "Ooh, that's that kind of stinks."
That was like a DP Tour event.
Literally, no disrespect to anyone on that leaderboard, but the majors and the real premium events, you want the very best players at the top of the leaderboard to kind of drive that conversation, to get that real mouth-watering conversation. I mean, everyone was really expecting pre-tournament for it to be Rory and Bryson kind of going at it. Obviously, Rory had an absolute shock. Well, not shocker, but he played nowhere near as well as he should have at that golf course. Still got the Masters hangover, I would suspect. But after that first day, and even the second round, it was a bit like meh. Like the course as well felt a bit meh. Like I'm not.
I do agree with you because I used to really, as a PGA Tour event, I love this event as a course and as an event. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it kind of just got a bit battered. Obviously, over the first 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was just torrential, and we saw the amount of mud balls we were getting. The Shane Lowry thing was ridiculous. Like people were just flinging it everywhere. Scotty's comment about we train all our life for perfection, and then we're not allowed to clean our balls with all this massive mud on it. Like, yes, it was an interesting one.
I have to admit, and I need you guys to balance me out here. I'm not a massive fan of the PGA as a major anyway. It just doesn't do anything for me at all. It doesn't have a real sense of identity. I thought the contrast between the PGA Championship and the other majors is quite stark.
Yeah.
Like we'll put the Open aside because the Open is its very own thing. It's links golf. It's very different. It looks different. It feels different. Everything about it is different. Like when you compare the last major that happened, the Masters, and you compare it to the PGA, and even just like simple stuff like the advertising boards, kind of like around the tees, that kind of weird board which was always off to the left-hand side, which showed like the par of the course and the par of the hole and the yardages. I get it. That was fine, but everything just about it just doesn't feel right. And I might be a bit tired. It just feels a little bit of a ugly sister to the other majors.
I think it's not really helped by the fact that there's not the same amount of buy-in from the media. Like watching the Sky Sports broadcast, I think they did a good job, but again, it was the same graphics that you normally see. Like I thought that like the only kind of saving grace was the tracers.
They went to town on the drone tracers.
I really like those.
Really cool.
They were cool.
I think initially when we first watched it, I thought to myself, oh, that's a bit jarring because we're used to seeing it kind of the other way around. Like, people have been commenting about the Caldy qualifying not qualifying, but you playing your open qualifying round, they would like to have the tracers on the static map, which is what we're used to seeing on the PGA Tour at times. But they had like kind of switched it around, and the player was tiny in a tiny little box. Club wasn't even staying inside the box. It was like very, very tight. And then we were getting these like lovely flyover towards the camera tracers and stuff. Yeah, that was sick. I really like those.
It was good. It's towards the camera. Then they had some rear, but on both of those as well. Certainly over the last few days, so I noticed more. They had the predicted landing point of where the ball was going to be.
Sick.
So all these things I really did like, and I thought it offered a perspective onto the course that you wouldn't otherwise get. I saw so few of the cameras like following the ball through the air.
Oh God, yeah, I hate that shot.
Which is great, fantastic.
Well done.
They've clearly been listening to you.
Yeah. Obviously, everyone's listening to the Rough Cut Golf podcast. But yeah, it just really felt like it lacked something, and it might just be a hangover as well from the Masters, which was such like this emotional roller coaster. That was something which is a historic event in many respects, and this PGA just didn't feel like that. It just didn't feel that much like a major.
What can they do to make it better then? Because it's all well and good having some groundbreaking graphics, some cool ideas around the broadcast. I love the landing spot thing. That's something that I'm now thinking we should implement into videos if we can. But like, what can they do apart from, we have this discussion every year, should they go back to it being a match play situation? Apart from something drastic like that, how can they make it as special as the Open, or as grand as the Masters, or as challenging as the US Open?
It's all about... When you watch every single one of these events, one of these majors, apart from the PGA, you know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
You know exactly what you're tuning in for. The Masters, it's the Masters. It's Augusta. You're there for the beautiful surroundings, all the rest of it. You're there for that back nine on Sunday. You're there for the roars through the trees.
And the music.
And you got the US Open, which is difficult. It's hard. It's the toughest test in golf. You expect the scores to be around level par. You want to see these players struggle. You want to see them really be tested. And then the Open, it's on links courses. It's a very different animal altogether. You could have a 20 underscore. You could have a 1 over score.
Yeah, nature comes into play in a big way.
It's a completely different type of test. Whereas the PGA is...
literally, you just literally can't even finish the sentence.
It's the fourth major. Now, honestly,
they should have it on their branding.
Yeah, maybe. Now, I wouldn't mind if it went back to match play. It will never happen, which is an unfortunate kind of consequence. Like a few of the commentators early on were poo-pooing that idea anyway. I don't see why it couldn't. I don't see why it should be a massive thing that it has to be a stroke play tournament to be a major. Match play is one of the most common played types of golf across the entire world. So why shouldn't that be a major? Everyone says, more match play tournaments, more match play. We want match play. We love match play. Ryder Cup, great, fantastic. And they have an option of turning it back into a match play, which it was originally. But they're not going to do it. So how then do you differentiate? And for me, I don't know if there is a way. Unless they want to turn it into like a US Open Part 2, where they just make it really tough. I don't really see how they can give it a different identity.
I think there's, they've fallen victim to the mounting pressure of trying to crown a really high-profile winner. Because I guess the last few we've had Rory, we've had Xander, we've had Scotty again, and you kind of go all the way back. The noughties have all been really, really big-name guys. But in order to try and secure that, that's kind of where I don't know if you guys saw... is it Garrett Morrison?
Yeah, from the Fried Egg, yeah.
And put out a tweet basically underlying the PGA Champs setup philosophy. And one of them is don't let the course become the story. Because normally if you've got a big course, it's because it's famous for, attracting really low scores and being very scoreable, which they don't want. Or, being an absolute brute. Like you get in the US Open that has higher profile courses. So that's kind of an issue as well. Another one is rewarding a skill set that is prized on the PGA Tour. That way, if someone's won 2 or 3 signature tour events, it means that they're more likely to win something like this. But that, to me, just makes it feel more like a signature series event.
Yeah.
It has that feel, doesn't it? Definitely like just an amped up signature.
So I think they've got to actually roll the dice and be a bit more risky with it.
I think the Players is more exciting than the
Yeah.
PGA Championships at this point because
I agree,
it feels a little bit more like Augusta does because you're getting the same course, you're getting it's a concentrated field and you're starting to see this the development of players winning there and struggling to come back and then they have the drama of 17. Like I feel like the Players is more exciting than PGA because it has consistency and story and I don't know, PGA just doesn't have it for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Tricky one.
I don't think I'm not a massive fan of an argument about turning the Players into a major. The Players is the Players. It's great. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be adapted. The only other option they could have for a different type of major is obviously play it somewhere else in the world
That's what I
rather
was
than the
literally
States.
thinking in my head.
But again, it's just not going to happen. It's in a tricky place, and I don't know if whether we are expecting like too much from it. At the end of the day, it is a major. It's one of the tournaments that the best players are desperate to win, and the world number one won. So the best player in the world did rise to the top and triumph.
Yeah.
I guess they kind of got what they wanted, really, didn't they? They wanted it to be interesting-ish, and then they wanted Scotty to win.
Yeah, exactly. So I think overall, it was a decent PGA, but it just didn't quite grab our attention as much as maybe the Masters and some of the others.
I think especially now with like obviously that we've got this separation, we got LIV, we got PGA. When these things come together, we want all the big guys to be at the top and everything like that. And obviously we didn't get that, so that's kind of a little bit of it as well. I think
that the last couple of majors have been kind of stonewall proof that the going to LIV thing doesn't necessarily affect your ability to do well. I've been a little bit down on Jon Rahm. However, had a pretty good tournament. I also was a little sketchy on Bryson DeChambeau. Has had 2 great majors in a row now. So I think the LIV guys are proving that they can come back and play in the majors. Joaquin Niemann, not great. There have been some examples, but like
Joaquin Niemann is just not good in majors for whatever
it's
reason.
so weird, isn't it? Because every time we come around to a major, we're like, oh, he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the outside pick, and then he just
and he is a great player. He's a great player. I just don't subscribe to the argument that going to LIV makes you a bad player. I think it's just more the general golfing public who might not watch LIV now only get the chance to see these players 4 times a year.
Yeah.
And it's the 4 hardest tests in golf.
When you think about it, the sample size is not good.
Where you have all the best players in the world there. So I don't really subscribe to that. I don't understand that point of view. It's not like just playing 3 rounds instead of 4 will make them a bad player. The only argument is that competitive edge potentially. But then you got players drop off all the time. Matt Fitzpatrick, who was up near the top of the leaderboard again after dropping down, I think it was like 85 in the world rankings. Like he's on the way back, but you could say, well, maybe it's because he's playing the PGA Tour. Maybe he's playing too many events. I don't know. You could make the argument either way. I don't subscribe to the because you go to LIV, you become an uncompetitive player.
I think it's been proven to be untrue because these guys are still managing to come out here and compete with the guys who are playing the 4 rounds cut type tournaments every week.
Yeah, I don't get it.
One person who we haven't spoken about yet, who Peter Finch labelled as his potential winner for the tournament, was a man also looking to complete the career Grand Slam in Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, so I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I didn't label him as the winner. I think if you'll play the tape back, I gave him a big up and then said I was talking about Rory.
Okay, right.
Rory was going to be my winner.
Jordan Spieth didn't get it done.
No, he didn't. I mean, he's just not kind of where he was. But we talked about this a little bit last week as well. You have certain players like Scotty Scheffler, who is consistently one of the best ball strikers in the world. From tee to green, his approach play in particular is absolutely unreal. And when he puts well, he's not impossible to beat, but pretty much nearly impossible. Yeah. Jordan Spieth had a 3-year stretch where he putted not better than everyone else. He putted better than anyone who's ever played. Statistically, from like 10 to 34, no one's ever been close to that. He was unbelievable. And it was not going to be something that could be continued. Like we say this about Scotty and his approach plays, like, can he actually carry on? And it looks like he can. With Jordan, he's not holing as many putts from that type of distance. And that was his real strength. That was his real ability. He's got a great short game, amazing pitcher, but his long game is just not up to scratch to where it needs to be to recover if you're not putting that way. Which is a shame, because I think he's a great player. I really enjoy watching him. But, you know, he's been in this type of zone for the last 5 years now.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think it's probably slightly worrying from his perspective, where I don't think I've really heard anyone say, oh, this could be the year that Jordan wins the career Grand Slam. But now that Rory's done it, and that's off his back, people are now thinking, right, what's the next big story? And even though Spieth doesn't really show any signs, like any green shoots at all, I think every year this is going to get a little bit worse. It's doubly worse if he becomes like a top 10 player in the world again.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is fine. Like, career Grand Slams are hard.
You're not supposed to be able to do it.
Rory was the first one to do it since Tiger. Like, we're talking about one of the greatest achievements in golf. If he doesn't do it, he's still, 4 majors in total? It's 4?
Yeah.
What's Spieth?
Spieth.
He's on 3.
He's on...
Yeah.
It feels like he's got 5 green jackets.
Hasn't he won?
But he's not.
Is he only got 1 green jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. I thought you had 2 then.
Yeah, he won Masters US Open in the same year, and then Open was 2017.
Yeah.
In my head, he's got 2 green
Yeah.
jackets.
I'm literally with you as well. I thought that as well.
Yeah. But anyway, like...
That's because he's been here forever.
Yeah. Like, three majors at the end of your career is an incredible feat. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think someone like Rory probably should have got the Grand Slam earlier.
Oh, my God.
But Rory's a generational player. Like, he's been incredible for near on 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, exactly right.
But
like, there's not many players like him.
But that's my point. It's so hard to win it that the discourse has just not been there. Like, Jack won it bazillion years ago, and then no one had done it until Tiger. It took a generational player to do it. But now all of a sudden, Rory's done it. Obviously, the media are looking at Spieth. Rahm mentioned it in his interview after, like on the Saturday.
Yeah.
Like, talking about, like, oh, he could be the best player since Seve, and, you know, this kind of stuff. So all of a sudden, everyone is going to be expected to do a lot better than they're currently doing. Obviously, there's a finite number of majors out there.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to, like, come away from their careers massively disappointed.
Yeah, maybe. I think once the excitement dies down a little bit, because is it still only Phil and
Phil. I was going to say Phil's got 1 more to go, isn't he?
Phil and Spieth are the only players who can still realistically do it. But realistically, Phil's not going to win the US Open.
Oh, come on.
Clip it.
I think
He's too old now. He's got to be too old now,
as
hasn't
far
he?
as saying safe things and not being on the fence, I think that's one that I could probably say.
Is it because he's gone to live?
No. It's because he's having them gummies all the time.
Yeah.
Where are our gummies? We didn't get any gummies, did we?
No, we didn't. No.
Disappointing.
Could have done with some of them today.
Now, the only other question then around the career Grand Slam is how long does it take Scheffler to do it?
I mean, if he carries on the way he is at the moment, you'd probably say within 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the one he struggled at is the Open.
Yeah.
The tournament is just not designed for him.
I don't know, though. Like, his approach play, the way he can flight it, he's got every shot. I mean, he's so good that he should be able to win them all. I don't really see why he couldn't, but it's hard. Like, it is a very difficult thing to do. Like, if he doesn't win it, he'll still go down as, you know, he's world number 1. He's going to be probably world number 1 for the rest of this year. He's been world number 1 for 2 seasons now, pretty much. He's still going to go down as one of the greatest players. Like, again, if he doesn't win it, it's fine. He's done all right.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to worry about him.
Yeah.
I think
it'll be like a Faldo situation where he
Don't
just wins.
panic.
He wins like 2 majors a lot of times, doesn't win the others because his game doesn't suit it, and people will still think he's excellent.
Yeah,
He's better than Faldo.
yeah. I think that like it's got to the point now where with Scotty, if Scotty on to a Sunday with like 2-shot lead, in my head, it's very hard for him. I struggle to see him being beaten.
Yeah.
Someone else has to go and win it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. You know.
He's not coming back to the field at that point. I turned it off when he hit the first 4 fairways, or like he was in regulation for the first 4 or 5 holes, and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
On Friday.
You know, on that Thursday, I watched all of Thursday with obviously he was playing with Rory and Xander. In that day, I think I saw him hit the most like errant shots, and his errant shots are, you know, in some situations he went in the water, missed a fairway, you know, here and there, but like in that day, he still shot 2 under par, and I thought he played really not good. Like it was weird, you know.
He makes the extraordinary shots look very simple.
Yeah.
And his accuracy with his iron play and his ability to hit the ball pin high is better than anyone else in the game. I mean, like the 16th yesterday, he hit it in the bunker off the tee. He's hit it to the front of the green. Super difficult chip. Just knocks it up, holds the putt, easy par. Misses the 17th to the right-hand side. Super safe.
Yeah.
One of the hardest chips on the course. Easy, up and down.
Yeah.
It made it look, again, so simple, so easy when it really wasn't. And he just has that ability. It must be so hard to play against him when you know that he's probably just not going to collapse. He'll have a few across his career, everyone will, but if there's someone front running and it's him, you're like, oh.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, I think there's maybe 2, 3, 4 people who their A game can compete with Scotty's B game at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like everyone else is just in their dust, you know, subject to mud balls.
You know, Rory going into the final day, what was he, 2-shot lead? 2-shot leader for the Masters?
Yeah.
Like,
And that went on the first hole.
exactly, like we all, you know,
I forgot about that.
I had it in my head, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I had in my head like, is it enough?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know,
Yeah.
where with Scotty 2-shot lead, I'm like, that's hard.
Good luck, everyone
You know,
else.
good luck,
Yeah.
exactly.
Because we all knew, like Rory, when he was 2 ahead going into that final round, we knew he was going to come back. Like he knew.
Yeah.
He knew that we knew that he was going to come back.
There was like all of us pointing at each other like Spider-Man.
I don't think he think the first hole, but he knew he was going to do it.
He just got out of the way early.
He just got out of the air.
There wasn't a single person in the world that thought, Rory's going to make this.
He's going to run away with
He's
this.
going to run away with it. But when with Scotty, you're like, it was to the point where last night I was kind of like, up early.
Yeah.
Should I even bother?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting you mentioned mud balls, David, because this is one of the things that was a big talking point over the course of the weekend, particularly in the first 2 days when a lot of people in the media were saying that they should have been lift, clean and place. Talk to me about mud balls. How does it affect these pros? What's the rules and why is it ridiculous?
So a mud ball is obviously what it sounds like. You get mud attached to your golf ball, and when you strike the golf ball, when the dimples on the ball are filled in with mud, it's going to affect flight, and it can affect it. It can affect it quite drastically. I've got the gong going there.
David's over there playing a gamelan.
But if it's, and certainly if there's like a lot on a side of a golf ball and you have danger down the hole, if it's on the right-hand side of the ball may go left more often than not.
Yeah,
but it's not precise.
Didn't Westwood talk to us about this when we were playing with Westwood? He was
Yeah.
like explaining how mud balls work.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like an exact science.
Right.
So it is a problem because, and especially at a major where the margins are so fine and there's so much on the line, you want to be able to understand what your shot's going to do. And that's why Scheffler kind of really kicked off about it, was that it's a major event. We shouldn't be able to made to look foolish by this because it's not really their fault if it goes offline because of a mud ball. It does smack every now and again that if something is offline, it's just like, it's a mud ball. Well, it might just be a crap shot.
Yeah.
It was for me, it was the one where Scheffler did it and then Xander did it the next shot as well. So it was, I thought there was something wrong. It was on Yeah.
All three of them went in the water on an approach shot on a par 5. Rory, Xander, and Scotty all doubled the hole.
Would that be 50? Would that be 15?
Maybe.
I think it was 15.
Yeah, because they were playing the back nine first, weren't they?
Yeah, I think it was 15.
Yeah.
And Scotty went in the water left, and then Xander, was a bit further down, and then he went in the water left as well. So
I think it was 16.
16.
Yeah,
Was it
potentially.
16? Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. Yeah,
Yeah,
16.
But yeah, it's a problem, but everyone was obviously playing the same rules, so you could say that. Mm-hmm. But it did seem strange with the amount of rain that had come down that they didn't do preferred lies. I know they wouldn't want to. It's a major, but at the end of the day, if it's picking up that much mud, then yeah, that's fine. And then you get ones like Shane, who's kind of finished in the pitch mark and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he landed in the fairway, so if it was lift, clean, in place, he could lift the ball,
Yeah.
obviously clean it, and then can he like pat that down and then put the ball on top of it, or how does that work? He just put it next to it.
No. Can he like get a tee out and like tee it up?
Fix it.
Can he get his alignment sticks out and just like put himself up?
Yeah, but how does it work for him? Because his was a particularly annoying situation. We've all had a ball land in the fairway and land in someone else's previous divot, but his was different because it was a plug mark from the previous group.
What's quite strange about that is obviously if your ball embeds in the fairway, but if your ball embeds in the fairway, even if there's no lift clean in place, you can get relief from
If it's below the
because it's
surface.
it's an embedded ball. Yeah. Now that rule kind of came in. It is a weird one that you can't get relief from somebody else's.
Yeah.
However, then that's all about, do you get relief from divots and all the rest of it. So it's probably opening a can of worms.
Should we open that can of worms right now?
Not really. Just play as it lies.
Oh. But then...
I'm not a big kind of relief from divot guy, so.
Are you not?
No.
What about ability to move a rake?
You can move it.
Ball resting on it?
Yeah, you can move it.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. What about raking a bunker and then placing your ball so you don't get a fried egg?
If you want to.
Yeah.
Check out Make Scores at Withington if you're on the handicap play there. Because it sounds like your grasp of the rules is pretty fast and loose.
Well, no, actually, at the moment, we are rake, clean, and replace and in the bunkers.
Okay.
So,
At least it's not in the fairways, because that could be an issue.
yeah, that could rake the fairways.
Yeah.
That's a real big problem. So because of all this, there were multiple incidents of people smashing their golf clubs into the ground, throwing golf clubs down the fairway, breaking the heads off their drivers because they were so frustrated and angry. Do you think that players should be punished for that kind of behaviour?
A lot of the time they are.
Really?
Yeah. So I think it was Wyndham Clark, wasn't it, who kind of turned around and launched his driver back at a stanchion thing. If it kind of causes damage or it's ungentlemanly conduct, however it's defined, you can get fined for that.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So it's the same with like swearing. Like if you're caught swearing, you will get fined.
Wow.
So they do get punished. It doesn't come to the fore that often because the amounts of money, they're not huge for these guys. And it's kind of become commonplace. The amount of fines that Tyrrell racked up on his last year at the DP World Tour was unbelievable. So they do get punished. I don't know. I'm a little bit on the fence about it. I mean, if you damage the course, so like obviously Shane, when he was in that pitch mark and he hit that shot, he absolutely attacked the fairway. Yeah. Now that's kind of like damaging the course outside of what needs to be done. If he got punished for that, I don't know. But I can understand the frustrations. Like golf is so annoying at times. It's so frustrating. Sometimes you just want to smack something. And every now and again, to let it out, I don't have a massive issue with it. It depends if you like keep on doing it, because that's just when you look an idiot. Every now and again, people throw clubs. You know what? It's fine. There's more problems going on in the world.
I'm pretty sure that Sergio got ejected from the Saudi International for...
attacking that bunker.
And several greens, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he really went to town on that bunker.
That was like ages ago, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I remember that one.
It's just make me feel old. Thanks, Kira.
Yeah. So that
felt like 5 minutes ago in my life.
Yeah, he went full on psycho at that bunker. I remember that.
I do. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean there are punishments there, and I think if it's extreme, then yeah, but like a little outburst here and there, it's going to happen. Like this is professional sport at the highest level, and frustrations will boil over. Not everybody can be super calm all the time. So I don't have a massive issue with it.
Can you give us a quick lesson on how to perform a really good club throw?
it's like the golf swing. It's just about rotation.
Your body rotation or club rotation?
You got to get it behind you. Keep a little flex in the elbow. Pull the lead shoulder out the way and just release it. Get the helicopter going. You want enough spin of the club to keep it airborne for an extended period of time.
Yeah, and what am I aiming for? Fairway in front, water, trees?
Well, I mean, you can aim anything you want. You can throw it in the water if you want. You won't get the club back. If you're really frustrated, wang it in the water. Do whatever you want. The thing is, what I would always say is when you throw a club and when you let your tension boil over, if it's really bad, then you're the only one who looks like an idiot. Like a little bit of an outburst of frustration. I've done it before. Did one today, to be honest. But it in isolation, it's fine. It's understandable. But when you go overboard and you lose it, that's when it just becomes a bit sad and funny for other people.
Yeah, and I think that's sometimes where Tyrrell kind of breaches the line many a times. But I was watching some of the things on that second day where he was having a good day, but then it turned into a bit of a bad day. It must be because he was doing quite a lot, after he was putting. It must put people off. If he's hit a putt and then he's effing and jeffing and all that, and you're stepping up to a 4 foot, these guys are probably immune to it, but I feel like that would put me off a little bit.
Yeah, I think with Tyrrell though, I must admit, if we're just using him as an example, he will tend to go a bit nuclear at times, like at himself. I've never seen him carrying on to the point where it's actually distracting other people.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm sure it has happened at times. But that's when it does cross the line. I've played in tournaments before where people got so frustrated it does distract.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when it kind of crosses the line.
Yeah, he did scream at his driver this week.
I did. I saw that. Yeah. Just because of that, looks at it and goes.
I don't think it was. I think it was more intense than the scream. I think it was like a promise of danger for that driver.
I'll follow you home. I know where you live.
It's like, wow, it's very intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of club throwing going on. McIlroy had a go. Homer had a good one. Homer's was nice. So maybe we'll put together a compilation for you, and you can do some ratings on how good the club throws were in a upcoming episode. If you're in the Discord, put them in the chat in the Discord, your favorite club throws, and we'll get Pete to look at them for you.
Just going a little bit off topic there, Homer was one for me where I was like, after that second day when he shot that, I think it was 7 or 8 under.
Yeah.
And then I was like, getting into the weekend, I thought, he was going to press on because he's obviously won there twice. And I thought he was going to have a bit of a weekend. But
majors are a bit different. Like you saw this with Vegas as well, where all of a sudden, top of the leaderboard, Noren as well, going into that final round.
I bet you were loving that. In the group chat, I always put like,
I was getting excited.
Are you enjoying this?
But like these players who've not been at the top of a major leaderboard for a while, to stay there is hard.
Yeah.
This is why you don't generally see people who haven't been playing well or people who haven't won a major before, once they get to the top of the leaderboard, actually stay there.
Yeah.
They tend to fall away. Like when was the last real surprise winner of a major?
Let's think back. Last
Brian
year.
Harmon.
Oh yeah,
count?
Brian Harmon might count.
Yeah, I think Brian Harmon's probably a decent.
Although it wasn't a surprise for Jacob.
No.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Was it a surprise for this podcast?
No.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen that often. Obviously, there are always first-time winners of majors. People do have to win it for the first time.
Yeah.
But usually, it comes on the back of a really good form, or people. It's not like a huge surprise.
yeah, you're
Danny
right,
Willett.
actually, thinking about it.
But Danny Willett won it, but also Spieth lost it.
Oh right, yeah.
So it was kind of like one of those, wasn't it?
Yeah,
think
that's
now.
actually that's very interesting to bring that up.
Yeah. There was a one point where I don't know what had happened in the other groups, but they cut to Davis Riley and JT Poston's group, and people were like screaming, "It's like I got money on you, kid," like that, all that kind of stuff, and like both of them just looked completely like bamboozled, like they didn't really know how to. And I think they both bogeyed the first hole. Like it's so intense going in, like because everyone's trying to get ahead of Scotty basically to watch him win, which means they're getting into JT Poston's group and kind of giving him grief, and like they just kind of bowed out of the way very, very quickly on the leaderboard.
Now, for those guys who've not been in that situation before, like it's very hard to know how you're going to react. And generally speaking, when new players who haven't been in that position before get into that position, the first time they'll draw back, they'll fade away a little bit. You know, not everyone is like Tiger. He'll get to the top in the Masters like he did first time and then just went forwards.
Yeah.
Most people will kind of come back. And then the next time they'll be better prepared. And then next time they'll be better prepared.
Yeah.
Just quickly, like, did you see Michael Block's comments about this?
No.
He says, yeah. So I think Michael Block said, it's a shame, really. I didn't play very well, so people didn't follow me. And when I don't have a crowd of people, I don't play my best. So there was basically hinted that he would have probably won if he had Scotty's level of following this week.
I did see something where it might have been taken a little bit out of context.
Right, okay.
But I've not read the full kind of interview.
Okay.
And he has come out with some corkers before. So let's...
Well, he played quite well last time when he was in Rory's group. Mm-hmm. But you still have to be able to do it when there's no cameras on you, unfortunately.
One of the good things about the PGA, which I do like, is the fact that they have that opening for PGA Club Pros to kind of come and play. That is one of the good things, and it is one of the good stories. So keep that up, PGA Championships.
Yeah.
Should lead the way for the PGAs around the world.
Oh. It'll be in the UK version of it. Right, we're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about how Rory cheated to win the Masters.
Great.
So I had a very brief look at how Rory cheated to win the Masters, but then I can confirm that he didn't cheat to win the Masters. Am I correct?
No.
Okay, so this is the story. Basically, at every, correct me if I get any of this wrong, at every PGA Tour event, they will test a load of equipment from the players in the field to make sure that it is within the boundaries of conformity for the event.
Yeah.
They test 30 drivers over the course of the weekend. And what happened was Rory's driver failed the conformity test for something called, and I've looked at it, CT. Explain what the heck that means.
So when they measure club heads at tournaments, all they're looking for, they're trying to understand the speed of what the ball would come off the face. And the measurements that they use, unless they fall within a certain bracket, they can be deemed non-conforming. Now, what will normally happen is, like for TaylorMade, for example, the QI10 driver, he's been using that now for the last 2 years. I think he switched to the new one started this year, didn't really get on with it, so he switched back to the old one. These pros, they're so consistent and they're so good. They're consistently, constantly hitting the driver at the same point. So it's out of the middle, it's out of the middle, it's out of the middle, it's out of the middle. And eventually, the thickness of that driver will wear. So it will get thinner. Now, as a driver face gets thinner, it gets hotter, and it will then kind of be deemed illegal because the ball might come off the face a little bit quicker as it gets thinner.
By hotter, you mean the ball speed off the face is higher. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not talking about huge amounts here. But in all fairness, the tours are getting a little bit stricter on this. They're introducing more testing as their ability with the tech becomes better as well. So it happens kind of every now and again. I don't really feel it's a massive issue, but as long as they tested it.
Yeah, so the very slight controversy around Rory's driver being deemed non-conforming during the PGA Championship is that previously, in a previous major that we all watched him win, he drove the ball particularly well and a very long way. And then it came to the next time his driver was tested and it was found to be non-conforming. So everyone's understanding of it was that he was using a non-conforming driver when he won the Masters.
It might not be non-conforming at that point.
So the thing to remember, and the factor that I think probably affected it, is that between winning the Masters with the driver and then turning up at the PGA with the driver, he probably hit it thousands of times.
Well, also, don't know if it was tested at a driver. Like, generally speaking, the top players will have their driver tested.
Yeah.
Kind of quite often. So, and it might have just been, it's just gone over the limit. I don't know. It's for me, this is such a a small issue. It doesn't really bother me too much, but that's just me. Nothing really bothers me today. I'm quite relaxed.
Yeah, Pete, you may have seen that Pete is not his normal energetic self, and that's probably because of what he just went and did this morning.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, like Scotty Scheffler also failed a driver conformance test this week as well. So what have we got here? We've got quotes.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
we've
this
got quotes.
is him in his interview. They said, "Did you have to make a change?" And he said, "Yes." They said, "How did it go? Did it have anything to do with you hitting it left today?" This is after the Sunday round. He said, "I think that was my fault. The driver testing happens regularly on tour. My driver did fail me this week. We had a feeling it was going to be coming because I've used that driver for over a year. I was kind of fortunate for it to last that long." The question being then, did Rory not feel the same thing happening with his and therefore have one ready to go? Because the argument is that him having a new driver in the bag is maybe not a new driver, but a new head is maybe why he didn't drive the ball so well.
Oh, really?
In the PGA.
I mean, he didn't have a
'Cause
great.
If these guys can see it coming, surely they're prepared.
I mean, he didn't have a great week last week either with the driver.
Right.
And bear in mind, we're talking about Rory having a good driving week in the Masters. He's had a good driving week for the past 15 years. So I think we can probably just about let him off.
Yeah.
And like I said, like the consistency that the guys are hitting it and the speed that the ball comes off, if they really notice a difference, it would be surprising. Like,
I don't know.
If you think about, we're talking about a few miles an hour of difference here between like month to month. I think it'd be strange if all of a sudden they went out one day and thought, oh my God, this ball is suddenly going 15 yards further. At that point, they'd probably ask the question themselves about what's going on.
Yeah.
And like, bear in mind with testing as well, and if the ball is coming off and they're hitting it great, they're just going to carry on using that club. It's not up to them to test their equipment.
Yeah.
Like the manufacturer gives them at the very highest spec that they can, and then it's up to the tours to actually test and make sure that they are conforming as the season goes on. Like if you're hitting it great, why would you want to give that driver up?
Yeah. So in theory, he can not. It could not be tested. It could be non-conforming. He could put it in play, and nothing would happen.
No, but like they are tested a lot more regularly now.
Yeah.
Which is right, and that is what should happen. But like if you're a player, you're not going to like go through the rigmarole of like trying to get it tested every single week just to make sure. Like, that's not your responsibility.
Yeah. So Rory didn't cheat to win the Masters?
No,
Okay, that's good news.
no, he tried not to win the Masters. We should remember that.
Yeah, should they check his wedges?
He tried really hard.
Check his wedges. Was it 13 or 12 where he hit that block wedge into the water?
I don't want to think about that.
He won. It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Here's an interesting one with like, I know obviously TaylorMade have obviously got like that carbon face. Do you think there's any difference there between like wearing down?
I'm not sure.
No.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think every single face, every single material, when it's just exposed to impact like that,
Yeah.
it will eventually wear down.
Yeah.
Like most people watching this are never going to have to worry about their
yeah,
driver face
yeah, yeah.
wearing down.
Yeah.
Mostly because me and everyone else watching this kind of hits across the face. So it's even now.
I thought you were about to put yourself in the elite, hit it in the middle category,
I
but
am
then you
definitely
were humble. Very good.
Yeah.
Not humble, man. It's realistic.
Because he's had it before, and he had it with like the previous Stealth. I think there was the original Stealth. Like he had the same sort of problem. So yeah, it's just interesting. I didn't know if it was anything to do with like this carbon face.
I mean, potentially. Like we don't really know the ins and the outs of it
No.
and how it wears down.
Yeah, interesting.
Excellent work.
Excellent.
Well done for dispelling the myth.
Thanks. Not a problem. Anytime.
Okay, Pete's going to go to the driving range now.
No, I'm not. I'm going to take a dog for a walk. I'm going to go home. Then I'm going to go to the gym.
Murphy's with us, everyone. You can't see him. He's down here.
He's just chilled out. Dead dog right
So sleepy. But you have got a lesson tomorrow.
Yeah, but I might have to kind of move that because we've got some filming and stuff tomorrow as well, which I've completely forgotten about,
Oh, excellent.
which I need to talk about to David afterwards because I don't know any of the timings.
Okay, good.
And then I need to talk about Wednesday as well, where we've got the other comp
Yeah.
because I need to practice.
You do need to practice.
Yeah, I do.
We've also got a comp this week. We've also got a comp.
We have. We are playing in a comp on the weekend.
Everyone's got a comp.
Do you
So many
want
comps.
to give a prediction? Like, what's your prediction so we can like go back to next week, or we can on next week's episode? What do you think the ranking's going to be? Who do you think is going to come like first, second, third, fourth in our little group?
Just for context, we're playing in the Springfield Golf event at the Players Club in Bristol. You have to have an official handicap. You play off your handicap. It's Stableford over 2 days. The top 5 players get into the final at Beau Desert. There is a 200, good Lord, can you imagine if it was 250,000? It's £2,500 prize for the winner of the final, and a £10,000 one-off payment if you get a hole-in-one on the 18th.
Nice.
We're all playing off our normal handicaps, so you kind of have a brief understanding of what the handicaps are at this situation. Who, like Kieran said, how are we going to do?
I mean, the amount that you've been playing, if you don't finish first, there's going to have to be some words.
Yeah, but I also have affected my handicap.
Because you've been playing well.
Yeah.
So you should play well.
Yeah, but my handicap keeps going down, which doesn't help.
So?
I need more shots.
What's your handicap now?
14 and a half.
That's why you're playing. That's why you're playing to improve.
What's your handicap?
19.
19.
I mean, I would say David has the highest potential of finishing first and the highest potential of finishing last
Oh, my God.
at the same time. I think it all depends how that first tee shot goes when there's a crowd watching.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a lot of water on the first as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is only 103 yard par 3.
I've played with David a few times. There's a lot that can happen in that distance.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, most important thing for me is that you guys enjoy yourself. You have a nice time. You come back having had a pleasant experience. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I just don't want us to embarrass ourselves. I'm sure we'll be fine.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be all right.
Most likely.
We've got 5 rounds of golf between now and then.
We'll
so.
be all right.
Excellent. Right. We will see you next week when we will be live from Prince's.
How's that? That's right. We've already done that one, haven't we?
Yeah, we already recorded that podcast. You were there. Do you remember?
Already recorded that one. I'm done now.
Will we be live from Prince's, or is that the one after that? And this next one is going to be, we'll be live from Prince's, and then we'll have Springfield review the week after that.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Okay.
Why not?
I've hit such a wall right now.
You going for a nap?
It's just like so depressing. I played in a comp today. Might as well tell.
Just talk us through it. Let's have a hole by hole
shot.
Yeah, we're on 54 minutes. So talk us through it. Go hole by hole.
No, hole by hole. I shot 80 today. 80. I've been playing so well, and I shot 80. And I wasn't even. I mean, admittedly, I had one terrible hole, which put me on that number. But that's just.
What did you get on that hole?
7.
Oh, right.
Par 3.
So disappointing. Why? Why did I shoot 80?
Were you trusting the process?
Yeah, I found it a little bit difficult, like the first, because it was so firm and so bouncy. I did a whole strategy for the course. Every single club off every single tee I needed to hit. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And then the first 4 holes, because it was so bouncy, those clubs were going 20, 30 yards further. So like bouncing through greens, through fairways, and just being a bit of a nightmare. And then I putted like an absolute donkey, which didn't help.
Yeah, I think the
That's an insult to donkeys, actually.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think
Sorry, all you donkeys listening.
The pattern was
Eat
the
or a know better.
Damn.
I thought that your.
Oh,
I thought off the tee you were actually really good.
Kieran filmed it, so he was there.
I thought you were really good.
Oh yeah, no, I did hit some decent shots.
I thought I thought and I think that mentally you were actually. I do think you were pretty good, and then
all things considered.
yeah, with all things considered, yeah, I think I thought you were all right. I didn't really hear you. I mean, maybe the camera's off, but I didn't really hear you like talk down on yourself. Just said next shot. Next shot.
I was trying to stay positive. It's more, yeah.
It was tough. It was tough out there. It was
real tough.
Yeah,
out
it was
there.
real tough out there.
I got the shirt on today.
It's like given that it's so against the grain of how well you've been playing, could you chalk this up as just one of those days. Just like I mean, everyone just has
It does mean that it's 2 rounds. So 2 rounds in a row where my putting has not been good. So where was the last comp? Stanford. So Stanford, I hit something like 17 greens out of 18 or something stupid. I can't remember what it was. What did I hit? I hit a lot. I hit a lot of greens at Stanford in reg. But I think it was 92%, something like that. So I might have missed 2. But my putting was poor there as well. And this is the second round where my putting has been particularly poor. So it's what I need to work on, and that is what I'm going to do.
Well, you are having
94%.
You are having a lesson this week.
I am having a lesson this week off quite literally the best coach in the world at putting. So
isn't he not Scotty Scheffler's putting coach?
He is, yes.
He's solved the biggest conundrum in golf. I'm pretty sure he can get you to hit it to the hole.
I would be shocked if I came out of this lesson not with a claw grip.
Oh my God.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Are you here for it?
Arm lock.
Are you open to it?
I've got to be honest. I did used to putt with a claw grip. I had one of my best putting rounds ever with a claw grip. So I don't know. I'm just gonna trust the process of the coach. I'm gonna do whatever the hell he says. I'm also gonna practice my little bottom off.
Oh my God, please practice.
So thanks for watching and thanks for listening. If you've not subscribed already to the YouTube channel you've been watching, please do. If you follow us on your favorite podcast provider, make sure you give us a 5-star review. That's fantastic. And thank you to our partners for the podcast, NordVPN. Make sure you go check them out in the description. Such a low energy.
I'm proud of you though. You did it.
I hate doing stuff after a crap round of golf.
I know. Me and David were having a discussion about whether we should cancel this week's podcast because we knew you were going to be low energy.
It's just crap. The worst thing is, like, the couple of lads I play with didn't have a great round either, and like they're going into lessons. That used to be the worst.
So they've got to go and teach now.
Oh, honestly, when I was at Trafford and I was filming, doing a comp, and then was booking in lessons after the comp. If you play crap and then you have to go do lessons, it's the worst. Because people coming in and like, oh, I want to improve. And you're like,
so do I.
Just hate life. Why are you listening to me? I've just shot 85 at frigging Worsley Park. Why are you listening to my advice? Just leave. Just get out this driving range. Don't even talk to me. Don't even look at me. That's what I feel like right now. I felt like talking about the PGA then like a fraud. Like, what do I know about? Why are you asking me a question? I don't friggin' know anything. I'm done.
On that note, can you have a quick look at my grip after this?
It's great.
Great.
It's the best grip I've seen you do today.
Bye, everyone.
See you later.
Pray for Pete.